All right, welcome everybody. I'm going to call this meeting of the La Junta City Council to order. Today is Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. The time is now 6 p.m. I'd ask you all to stand for the invocation. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight to do business on behalf of the city. We are thankful for a new year and new possibilities. We know that with your guidance, all things are possible. We hope the city and its citizens have a very safe, healthy, and prosperous new year. Let this year be a year of growth and a year to continue moving this city forward. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. If you'll stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Schofield.
Ramirez.
Present.
Velasquez.
Present.
Stoker.
Present.
Ayala.
Here.
Ochoa.
Here.
Cantoya.
Here.
Rickoff.
I'm here.
All right. Minutes from the previous meeting. I would entertain a motion.
Motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. And that passes unanimously. Oh, you got the new names on there. Nice. Sorry, little things amuse me. All right, citizens' participation for non-agenda items only. You have 5 minutes per person. Please come up to this microphone, state your name and your address, and your time will begin, and we'll let you know when it's up if you go that long. Rick, can you turn that mic on?
Yes, sir. There you go, JT.
Never been to one of these before. My name's James Horner. I live in town. I've been here 5 years. And I like going to the senior center to the dances, and we don't have them no more. And it's basically every time I went, it was the same old cowboy music. And we're not all old cowboys. I've talked to a lot of people, and they like oldies, Latino music, different things like that. And I don't see why we can't get something going. I know bands are expensive, but DJs aren't that expensive. And they can come down, change lights in the place a little bit, get the place going. But the big thing was a lot of advertising. It needs to be advertised to all the little communities in the county. I don't know what else to say. Just like to see something get done.
I'm your senior center rep on the advisory council. There's a meeting on Thursday at 10 a.m. And I know that Mr. Ballard's going to be there. He's one of the artists that performs at the dances, and he is on the agenda. And part of that agenda is he says he has some new ideas for the dances. It'd be nice if you would show up, and because they're open to the public. It's at the senior center at 10 a.m. on Thursday.
Okay.
And bring your ideas and your insights. And I know that they did have a dance this past.
On the 29th.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good one.
So, good, I'm glad I hadn't heard about the turnout. But, yeah, I agree with you. And they're always looking for a little mix too. We just kind of have a narrow choice of people that are going to perform for what they get paid. So,
Right.
Do you know of anybody that?
No, I don't know hardly anybody in town. I've been here 5 years. It's hard to make friends anymore.
There are two, DJ people in town, one in La Junta and one in Rocky Ford. Trent Ryan, that's one in La Junta, and then Dominique
Robbins.
out of Rocky Ford. So those are two possibilities for DJ service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
And one more time, Paul, will you just mention that meeting for anyone that may be watching online?
it will be on this Thursday at 10 a.m. at the senior center. So, and it's open to the public, and they'd love to have more public participation and people show up to get involved and bring their ideas and insights.
Do those dances cost money?
$3?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, it's
It's not that
$3.
much, Joe.
The artist gets the cake,
Yeah, yeah.
as-
Did
and
JJB?
whatever else they need to, and then the senior center will make up the difference on if they're short anybody. But most of the time, it's just enough to cover the band or the performance.
And it's really always been that way, guys,
Yeah, it's,
ladies.
I plan on going there sometime.
Is there an age limit on who can
No.
go?
no, it's open to
So
the
anybody
public.
can come?
The only age requirement is to become a member of the senior center, and that's 50, so.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of big band music, or
No, it's usually Western.
no? Just
They do,
No.
they do bring Mr. Dan down from Denver, he does some good big band stuff, so. That's actually, he was sick this past year, they didn't bring him down, so yes, if you like big band, I'll be sure to let you know.
All right. Mr. Porch.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to, my name is Greg Porch, and I'm at 522 Santa Fe here in town. Before I start, I wanted to say congratulations to all you peoples. There's a lot of people that I know outside of here, and this is the first time I've been up here, well, you guys are in office, so congratulations. And thank you very much for being here. Got a kind of a long little story here, so bear with me on this. And I don't want to point at any particular fingers on anybody at the council. This is kind of for everybody. When I first moved here a number of years ago, had a quaint little house over on Cimarron. And thank goodness that I had a four-wheel drive pickup and a Jeep, because potholes were pretty substantial to where it would have, a Prius wouldn't have made it down the alley. So being new into town, what do? You fill the potholes, right? So I was out there filling up the potholes, one would think, and code enforcement came by. And I was only here for 2 months, didn't know anybody. And they said, you can't fill the potholes with gravel. And I'm like, okay, this is the first time I've ever heard something like that.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
And so, and so the person who was there, they said, well, the city is worried about the fact that if you fill the potholes, then that gravel's gonna get taken off into the street. And then it'll clog up the side sewers and who knows what else. So, okay, so instead I got a chain link fence and a couple of bricks, towed it behind the Jeep and flattened it out. Okay, cheap man's way to make the alleyway half decent, right?
I've done that myself.
I made a few calls to Rick and a couple other people, and they said, okay, we'll be out there. You're scheduled for whatever the date was, but we'll move you up. So it was October. They were there, filled, regraded it, everything was grand. Throughout the years, they were pretty good at it. After I've been here for a while, I went ahead and moved into a house over on Santa Fe. The house was a beautiful house when the Smiths lived there. They took beautiful care of it. When they left, the next 6 or 7 people who owned the house kind of let it go to pot.
Oh, that's
No maintenance, huh?
too bad. That was
Yes.
nice.
It was a beautiful house.
Yeah.
And when I bought it in an auction, and one of the things was that the real estate agent had to kick the homeless that were living in the house, which there was 8 of them at the time. So you can kind of guess what kind of quality the house was. We've gotten it back up, and it's a beautiful house today. Still a lot of work. And then after we were there for a couple of years, then the city came by and they said that they were going to go ahead and do, maybe you're going to help me with a term, but
Chip seal?
yeah,
Yeah.
on the numbered streets where you went
Yeah,
through.
when
and-
we went down 6th and that, yeah,
Yep.
I did all the side streets. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I was totally, absolutely, totally against it. The town that I grew up in did the same thing. It didn't last nothing. I am here to say that it still is looking fantastic, and it's been, what, 3 years? Probably 3, 4 years?
Yeah, you'll get 5 to 7 years
Yeah.
out of it, you know, as a wear surface. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very, very pleased with what they did. Okay, so I think it was a inexpensive way to try to spread out the money the largest way we could. But just like my house, neglect for 10 years plus ended up making my house not a beautiful thing. And I'm looking at the city and the street sweepers I haven't been seeing going around lately. I've already done 3 trailer loads of gravel, leaves, and for some reason, the leaves from all my neighbors decide they love my yard and they love my ditches, you know, even though I don't have any black elms, everybody else around me does. And
Got the same thing.
so I've done 3 loads of my truck over, and I was bringing them under the bridge, now I bring them out to the tree dump. But it's still really bad. And when the snow came, I went out there, moved the leaves away from a lot of the storm drains. But what I do see right now is there's a huge lack of maintenance on it.
On the storm sewers, and I got, we're supposed to have a crew come through and clear those. And
Yeah.
hopefully I'm gonna try to get them before Thursday.
And it's, I'm gonna, you need to pass them on down.
Okay.
I'm not,
Thank you.
it's one of those things that I think it's gonna get really bad if we don't button it up. Especially the gravel that's coming down. I know that the city's budget isn't, probably similar to my house budget, just isn't a whole lot there. You do what you can with what you got. But by the same token, if we don't jump up and if we don't take care of that, those side sewers, you can see in one of these pictures that it's completely filled up with all.
That's what I was gonna say,
leaves.
what they do is they fill up, then we gotta dig them all out.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Hey, Greg, I'm gonna give you 1 more minute just because Rick was talking a lot at too, but you're here at 1 minute.
But I'm with
I appreciate it.
you, Greg, I'm with you, and, you know, I'll have the guys, look at that and stuff like that. Cause I was on vacation last 2.5 weeks, and, that's one of the things that was on my list.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, because the city's been doing fantastic. One last thing, and I don't know what to do about it, I just want to throw it out there. Walking down the street, my wife and I go on at least a 2-mile walk every day. We try to go around to frequent all the shops in town. And there's a lot of storefronts out here that are just less than desirable. Is there a way, I mean, I've been on code enforcement, I've been talking to who I know, who I can talk to. If nothing else on these buildings, why can't we put like curtains and do tiger tails, something in there? We can get some kind of, so that when people come in, I mean, we just missed a huge opportunity the last 2 months of people coming into our town spending money, which all profits us. And when you drive down the road, there's all these abandoned buildings, and it'd be nice. Doesn't take a lot of money, but if we can do something to make it look like it's not so abandoned. I mean, the Sears building is just,
We
they're all coast to
tried that
coast, et cetera.
years ago on the Retail Action Committee, and we went and we approached owners of those buildings to see if we couldn't at least put up paper, like the brown paper, you know, decorated, maybe put lights for Christmas time, and because we weren't a part of the city, but then the city doesn't own those buildings, so it's up to the owners. And most of them were like, you're not coming in, so.
You know, that's kinda
But
interesting.
you're right, it would look a lot better.
Cause I remember, that, even further back, and, a gentleman, cause he got so tired of it, he, put up his own money, made up some, looked like a window deal with curtains and a cat up there, and put it up there. And it was one of the best ideas, and same thing, people did not want to do that, and,
We
but
tried and
he was
tried.
trying to make the place better, and that was Mr. Maloff who did that.
You know,
Years
it's-
ago,
it's-
so
I
yes.
don't know what to do about it, but I
Right.
mean, it's like, even if we go to
Great
code
idea,
enforcement,
though.
we got things on the books that says abandoned buildings can only be abandoned for so long, right?
We're on it.
We gotta do something, so let's start pushing that.
Yes, we have, and, it's funny, cause first year, you don't got plan, on your building, $250. Next year, it's gonna be 500, then the year after, 1,000. And, had some great, everybody, kind of, but no, it doesn't seem like nobody wants to play right now. I don't
Believe
know,
me, I hear that.
I don't know what it is, but, I keep telling them,
Yeah,
let's see how much you can afford then. But it takes time, cause
It
you
does.
go and do that 1 year at a time, and it'll get to them.
yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your wonderful ideas.
Hey, thank you for your time, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks for looking.
And actually, Lisa and I were even thinking yesterday, wouldn't it be cool if we could drive the street sweeper? You know, like on a Sunday or something?
I don't think our insurance is good enough.
Not Lisa. I will say right now, not
But I
Lisa.
can drive it?
Yes,
Okay, sorry. It'll just be me. I'll just ride with you.
Well, being a street sweeper operator is an art. And we used to have a guy named Geronimo, Jerry Aragon, and did for decades and stuff. He even put it on his tombstone. It meant that much to him. And to find somebody dedicated like that, we've had a couple of them come in and stuff, and they want to be him, but they got ways to go.
Gilbert's pretty good too.
Gilbert's pretty good. Yeah, he's learned a lot. Yeah.
Well, we tried.
And I had talked to Rick previously about street sweeping downtown, especially after we have events downtown, because it gets real messy with not leaves and stuff, but trash and all that. So, is it fixed now? Is it
Yes, it's
okay?
fixed, yeah. But it was down, we had to wait on parts.
Okay.
There was a gentleman that was sweeping the streets by Edward Jones and the bank, and he was only charging $10 to just sweep them, and it looked really nice. That's pretty cheap.
Thank you. New business. Great porch. We have, do I have a motion to appoint Greg Porch to the Planning Commission Board, term to expire 12/31/2025?
I'll make a motion.
Oh,
Oh.
Well, then I'll second it.
Lisa. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. That passes unanimously. Congratulations. Thank you for serving.
Thank you for your interest.
Mr. Maloff.
Mr. Mayor, our charter requires that before we can commence any kind of condemnation action, the council has to authorize that process. We are in the middle of negotiations with some people that own an interest in 618 Colorado, and we may be able to speed up from a 2-year process to about a 4-month process to be able to knock that building down. Hopefully we'll know in the next couple of days.
You're popular, Betty.
That was big down.
Anyway, the good news is we may be able to cut the time lag down a bunch. The bad news is we're gonna have to figure out where to get the money to do it. But that's what Mr. Klein's job is, I guess.
Right, now I got a couple ideas. Yeah, I've been thinking on that one, especially with seeing what's going on up there in Penrose, because the state's having to foot the bill on that. So I got a feeling that they may pull that EPA program for a year, and but I'm checking it out.
So on all these other ones that are,
Mike.
so on all the other ones that are authorized for condemnation, who pays for that? The program? The EPA?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
what we have been doing is, once we get it, Dean goes to court and he's on retainer. And then I do leg work, and then Amy, she and her and Martin get with EPA, and then the EPA comes and does it for free.
Okay.
Off of this Superfund project that they call Clara, and it's a critical removal, non-time restraint removal action.
And what do those usually cost?
If you get, by the time you got the contaminants and stuff like that, they'll run you 150 to 200 grand per lot. And some of our bigger ones have been going like 350 to 500,000. That's why we always try to get one big one and then get a bunch of littler ones, and stuff to take out those blights.
They've been a lifesaver to this town.
They have been a great lifesaver, and we try to shoot them kudos everywhere I go, because EPA doesn't get good kudos, but they actually got some great programs now. I know we talk on the regulatory side how they're killing us, but actually they're trying to clean up America too.
Right.
So,
And you have to have a special thing to remove asbestos, right?
yes, sir. You gotta be suited up and stuff. I mean, you're seeing it on TV right now with that nursing or the funeral home.
You don't need a DJ for the senior center. Betty will just play that song all night, and we'll be good to go.
Can't hear it.
about your offer to Dan?
Yeah.
Well, I was offering you up there.
No?
On that asbestos removal, will that still be the EPA if we move it up, or how's that gonna?
Yeah, you know what they do is, they wet it down as they, take it and put it in line trucks, and then they take it down to Los Animas, so.
No. If we move this one up, will that still be the EPA that's gonna do it?
Yeah, where we gonna
Well,
get the funds?
Yes and no. You know, if I'm fully anticipating, you know, that something's gonna happen because, that Penrose deal is a multi-million-dollar deal that state's picking up. So what, I'm anticipating is, you know, we have the brownfield one coming up, and, you know, I should be getting the, public, involvement plan and, what they call the quality assurance program on how they'll test it and everything. But then I'm gonna package some of our houses and see, you know, about getting the contaminants identified, tested, cleanup plan, then package them together for an 80-20 EPA grant. You know, because that brownfield grant that we got, the 500,000, that's for to help out with private sector or ours. I mean, if you have a public building, you could do the same thing. So I'm gonna use that process also. And Joe, that way, everybody, that way we can jump ahead of the deal, get the contaminants out. And once we got the contaminants out, we got an excavator and trucks that we can haul it off. So, you know, I'm gonna start working it that way if this program doesn't work out.
Okay.
But we can't go 2 years without something being dropped.
And so that'll be at 80-20.
And that would be an 80-20, but
And
you
then
know,
where does the 20 come from us?
we'd have to come up
And
with
where
the
does that
20.
come out of?
that'd be general fund.
Are there other properties that already have gone through the process
Oh.
and are sitting there waiting?
Well, we've cleared about 45 properties, and yes.
Well, no,
and,
that haven't been cleared, that
yeah,
are just
no,
sitting
we
in
have 5 right now, and once we get this one, will be 6, and then I'm got to stop.
Okay,
Because, you know, got a little ahead of the program.
okay.
Okay, and that's just because of him. He went through those woods. He got everything done a lot faster than I thought he would. So, no, because we're sitting pretty right now.
Do you have the list of the 5 properties that are?
Not on top of my head, but number 1's gonna be this one. There's 2 up there on
Raton.
Raton. I got the Gibson's building in there, and there's oh, you hit me up on that. Let's see, 322 Harriet.
Okay.
It has a tree growing out of it.
So,
Seriously, I don't know how that happened.
this property would be the priority property to get down?
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So.
That one's kind of like our 218 Harriet. You know, it's just it's been a thing with the community. You hear it all over.
It's wide open right now.
And it's right on Colorado.
And I understand that, but the people that have been living next to these other homes that
Right.
need to be taken down, they get pushed further back after they do.
No, that's why I'm gonna stop, we're gonna take a little break and clear these ones off and start in again.
They're just
We gotta
allowing
get
the
those.
owners of this building or will allow it to be done quicker.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where the other ones probably won't, right?
well, yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. What do we need? A motion, Gene?
Yes, sir, please.
I
Okay.
motion for the authorization to commence condemnation for 618 Colorado.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. And that passes unanimously. Mr. Maloff. Nope, never mind. Nope. Committee and board reports.
Well, we had a utility board meeting on the 19th of December. I guess some of the biggest outcomes of that is Mr. Utility Commissioner Gary Cranston was appointed as the new chairman of the utility board. Myself and Mel, the vice chair. Still trying to figure out how that happened. Good idea from Alyssa is to look out for your neighbor. I know we're entering the time of the season where the temperatures are going to drop. And she mentioned this, and it was during the holiday season, obviously, but to look out for your neighbor. And if you want to, a great way to help somebody out or to pay it forward is maybe put a little something on their utility bill, or if not, if you're lucky enough to be able to maybe pay somebody's utility bill for them. Like I said, we're coming into the colder months of the year now, so that's a great way to pay it forward in this community. I'm sure it's already being done, and by people doing it quietly. Moving on to some of the other items that we talked about. There was some discussion about solar panels, and the city won't endorse or not endorse any solar company. It's up to the homeowner to make those decisions. But there should be an abundance of caution used that when you do seek a solar company to come in and do that, make sure that, number one, they're reputable, number two, they're gonna come back and explore all the avenues of what your contract may entail if you sustain hail damage to your solar panel, if the warranty will be voided if somebody else does the work, if a roofing contractor does the work on the house and they remove the solar panels, if it voids your contract. So just use that abundance of caution before doing that. Come in and talk to Mr. Jackson. He may be able to offer some insight on what other companies that are going on. The city, moving on, has assisted Rocky Ford in the use of trash trucks since they're broken down. And it's that good mutual aid, good neighbor policy that we seem to get us through the rough stuff when we need to. And I know there's a lot going on here. They'll be conducting a lead and copper survey of your residents just to see what you have there, because I think coming up shortly, lead and copper pipes are going to have to be removed from your residence, and you will not have to incur the cost, is my understanding, but we'll have to know what residents do have lead and copper pipes still within the residence. Let me go through my notes here. There's a ton of them. I should have Gary come up and do it since he's present in the audience tonight. No takers.
Much better.
Well, thank you. Let's see. They've been doing that. 2 poles were hit by cars on Highway 350 and 6th Street and on 10 Cactus Drive. Those were replaced, and again, those were due to car accidents. So, and overloaded connectors at the Lahana Mill and elevator were replaced. And going back to solar, we have 30 customers, and there was a total of $469.48 savings. So that's where we're at. There was some further discussion about some of the numbers and what we were looking at and expenditures and numbers balancing out. And I think Alyssa is going to look into that. So I know with the upcoming utility board meeting, that'll probably be cleared up by then.
Any other committee and board reports? Congratulations again to Gary and to Paul for being the new chair and vice chair of the utility board. Rick was on vacation, so the city manager comments. He did have something he did want to talk about on the Black Hills, didn't you?
Yeah, we do have a hard drop as far as on our bridges for the trail. They'll be here January 15th. So if you're interested in seeing bridges get put on their abutments, they'll have cranes and everything out there. But in the mail received where Black Hills Energy Gas is going back up with a 2.2% change on residential. The average current average monthly bill is about $74.98. It'll go up to $76.61. That's a $1.63 increase. And on small commercial, they'll go up 1.9, which they'll go from an average bill of $153.51 to $156.38. $2.87. Now you got to remember, last year they hit us with a 25% increase. Things are happening out there in the industry of the energy industry, guys, that we got to keep our eye on.
I think that's just great information for our citizens to know when that comes through. Any questions for Rick, so you can hit him out of the gate coming back in the new year?
You're doing your best shot, man.
Nope. All right. Governing body comments. Any governing body comments?
It was nice to drive by the golf course today and see golfers out there. It's 42 degrees, so they're dedicated. And also the signage out there at the entrance to the industrial park is looking really nice. I saw Damien out there working. I thought, man, it's only 42 degrees, but the signage is looking nice. Any improvement's a good improvement for the city of Lahana.
Any other governing body comments?
I have 3 actually. First, not to sing his praises, because God knows I don't believe it. But when we got to talking about utility bills and helping your neighbor, I have personal knowledge that over the years, Rick has dipped into his personal funds many times to help little old ladies that were gonna have their utilities cut off, and that's almost been a routine practice. One of the things that you guys never hear about that actually happened, that Rick does to help the city. That's number one. Number two, I hate to mention anything good about him, because I really don't like him. But he and his daughters have been known to, in rainstorms, go out and try to clear the grates. And that's been done over the years many, many times. He doesn't ever tell anybody about that. Number three, just as I don't like Lisa, or was it Chandra, whoever wanted to drive the street, I'll be up tonight worrying about that. Odd as it seems, self-help, fixing the streets, I appreciate your efforts, don't do it. It's, even though you put fill in, it's a good intention, and this is, just doesn't make any sense, but our insurance coverage would fail when somebody is doing something to fix the streets of which we have responsibility, and then it fails. And it's not my rules, it's just the way it is. So I appreciate his good efforts and people trying to fix things, but especially with regard to streets, self-help is a real nightmare if something bad were to happen. And it could be something as simple as a rock flying up and hitting the windshield, or it could be where the street caves in and where someone has maintained or attempted to maintain the street, and it wasn't us, not done to code, we're in trouble.
So if they're not getting done, then we just need everybody to come to city council to say, where's the street sweeper?
No! Don't call me!
Because I would like to sweep it, but I can't, so can you get the street sweeper?
I'm gonna buy you a big broom, okay? Anyway, it doesn't make any sense, what I just told you, but it is.
It kind of does make sense though, because like if it's a sinkhole and it's not being reported and it's just getting filled and something happens, if you look at it that way, that makes a little bit more sense.
Not that we haven't lost a car inside the city streets before.
I guess on that same,
Yeah.
the same line, don't treat the streets like your private trash can. Don't blow your leaves and your twigs and sweep your yard out into the street.
I saw a lot of people doing
And that happens
That's routine.
quite frequent.
that. Sad issue.
I have a question from the audience.
You're not saying we can't pick up the leaves in the gutter, are you?
No,
That's
please
a
do.
little different than filling in a pothole.
Okay.
Because someone said, I'd like to sweep it, but I can't, and I think you're misunderstanding.
Okay.
No, he's saying don't drive the street sweeper. He's not saying you can't sweep your curbs up.
Okay, so that guy that was doing it for $10, he can do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a structural issue.
Yeah, he can't repair the road. That's
Okay, yeah.
Just
I
come
get
by,
it.
I'll give you a list of streets.
They was playing.
I get it.
No, really.
All right. I did have one thing on my governing body comments, and it was just I look forward to serving with all of you this year. I look forward to doing a lot of stuff this year. When we passed the 1%, it wasn't just to survive, right? It was to be better, to be a better city than we've been before. And that's taken effect this month. And I encourage everybody, it's a call to action, all the citizens, to shop local, to do as much local shopping as you can here, to dare to be great, to do as much as you can to volunteer. If you have to just sweep up the curbs or join a board, so much can be done, so much can be accomplished if we all do it together. And if we all stay on the same page and we don't butt heads too much. Disagreement's fine as long as it's done respectfully. So I encourage you all to get involved. The city is looking forward to hearing new ideas and to working together to make this a great city. Do you have something, Tim?
Yeah, I just forgot I saw this earlier this week, but Woodruff Memorial Library opens Saturdays starting January 13th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So that's back. So make sure we utilize that, and that we're doing fun stuff at the library. That, you know, all this stuff still can go away if we don't use it, and we don't take advantage of it. So if you have great ideas like Mr. Porch did, bring them up. Mr. Golding's done it before too. So just know that we look forward to a lot of stuff getting done this year. So with that, if there's nothing else, I wish everyone a happy new year, and I will adjourn this meeting. Have a good night.